put that shit in.
Though,
If the person is alive, I believe they wouldn't ask to put that shit in unless they already had good news.
though, to be fair, the dismemberment line that Stephanie McMahon
That was
that one was
fucked up.
That was not cool. I will agree with you on the Dean Ambrose bit. Granted, it is
and
on the wrong end,
and
of
it
that,
really does.
but I wasn't offended.
And
by
when
it,
you think about it, it really does fit into the storyline because Dean Ambrose almost died from a staph infection. Roman Reigns almost died from leukemia. Is in the process of going through leukemia, and the way that Dean Ambrose said it, we've already paid for our sins, as for our
sins of the Shield,
for the sins of our shield of the Shield. What's happened to you?
That's what he has to go through, Dean.
Something's about to happen to you. So it's like it does fit into the storyline when you think about it. Is it right to say, and was it fucked up to say? Yes, no doubt. But hey, Dean Ambrose, bad guy, heat machine.
Yeah.
As we're talking about, as we've been talking about. So I do think that people are being a little bit precious about it.
Yeah, I agree.
And need to calm down, because the fact that line was put in that promo, first of all, you saw that Dean Ambrose was uncomfortable saying it while he was actually saying it. You saw, and you know that they either got permission or there's good news on that front. So stop being precious about it, and move on with your lives. It's really not that big a deal.
So that's Survivor Series. Facial hair ratings. What would you have given Survivor Series?
I cannot, on the basis of the main events, and the Cruiserweight title match and the pre-show match, I can give it a goatee. I could give it a classic goatee. But based on the fact that this was basically a glorified bragging rights, this is a Big Four pay-per-view. Should be. Okay, and the fact that no storyline is going, no stories are being involved in
affected by it,
are being affected. They said going in that storylines aren't going to mean anything going into this pay-per-view. That I read it online. That was a legit statement from the WWE. So storylines aren't going to matter going into this pay-per-view, and I was like, well, then why the fuck should I bother watching? Even bragging rights had storylines going through it. So it's like, once again, glorified house show, except the heels win. So, and that is what you call a Big Four pay-per-view. So based off of that, wrestling-wise, classic goatee. Event as a whole-wise, knowing what it means to the future, peach fuzz.
I will go to the same extent that you are. I'm going to give the show itself a classic goatee. It was good. It was good wrestling, especially the final two matches, the Cruiserweight. Actually, good. There was good wrestling all around. I will give them that.
Which is why why my
the event is yes. The event itself is a classic goatee. But now I'm looking at it in the long run, so I'm just going to look at Raw and SmackDown and how really it didn't really affect anything. The propositions that Stephanie gave Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman meant absolutely nothing, because she pretty much just restarted those propositions, and now that's completely pointless because Braun had to be taken out because the bone spurs in his arm. But even with that, just the storyline aspect of Stephanie saying, "Okay, I said that if Raw gets a clean sweep, Baron, you're going to be full on general manager." Well, he got as much as they wanted to say it, they said it on Raw. They said it a lot on Raw to the point where it was getting so goddamn annoying. They said they got a clean sweep. So Stephanie didn't go on her word and said that if you beat Braun Strowman at TLC, then you're going to be full-on general manager. Oh, and Braun, if you do your end of the bargain, you're going to get Baron Corbin and Brock Lesnar. So now you got Baron Corbin, and if you get him, you get Brock Lesnar. So it's basically pretty much just starting all over with that nonsense.
And if that
I already said my point on Raw and SmackDown, Shane even said that there was going to be consequences for the fact that SmackDown lost so much. Nothing. They did absolutely nothing on. There was hardly a mention of Survivor Series, and now Shane McMahon is going to be involved with this stupid storyline with the Miz trying to get him to be a tag team, which, from what I've read, is them working on Miz's babyface.
Face turn, and apparently he cut a face promo and it worked.
Yeah, so it will definitely be better than his first face run when he.
Well, because they forced that hard. It came out of nowhere too. They need to build this for a little bit before they pull the trigger.
So yeah, but Raw and SmackDown were just. I'm even going to go farther than your Peach was. I'm going to clean shaven. Raw and SmackDown pissed me off this week. It actually made me not want to do, it made me want to take a break from watching wrestling. At least until Royal Rumble. But, I'm reaching that point where I don't give a shit about TLC.
Once I figured out what they wanted the TLC match to be, I stopped giving a shit about TLC. They wanted the main event to be Braun Strowman
and Baron Corbin. Yeah, that's going to put butts in the seats.
Yeah. And that's Tony Schiavone mentioned that would actually be true. That would put a sarcastic. That would put butts in the seats.
That is the worst. That is the worst match to have, because Baron Corbin's a good talker, but he is a terrible wrestler. As much as I like him as a character, he's a terrible wrestler. He does not put good matches. And the point that he was basically getting a main event spot at a pay-per-view of the final pay-per-view of the year, to hell with that nonsense. But hopefully we will get Dean and Seth. They will eventually redeem this week.
Because they can't.
Because they need to.
They can't have a regular singles match for that Intercontinental title. It's a blood feud.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
They need to work their asses off for them to get back on my good graces.
And really, I don't think you should have Daniel Bryan in a ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
The last time he was in a ladder match, he got the concussion that almost ended his career. So let's not do that again, please. So
yeah,
that's
you got a lot of work to do, WWE, to get back on our good graces. So that's what we think, and now we want to know what you, the wrestling audience, think. What did you think of Survivor Series? What would you give it a facial hair rating? Do you agree with what we said? What are your opinions? Be sure to leave a comment down below. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel, The Scholars of Wrestling. And be sure to find us on our Facebook page. Look up Scholars of Wrestling. And if you want to look us up on our Twitters, you can look up the show itself at ScholarsOW. You can find me, the Scholars of Wrestling champion, at the Tarek. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me raging about nothing at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can look for Scholar Jeff at I'm Robbie Rage. Well, that seems to be it for this episode. Thank you all for joining us, and there's nothing more else to say other than we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. Let's see if WWE can redeem themselves after this nonsense.
It'll be hard.
So, looking forward to Royal Rumble? Forget TLC.
I need a nap.
Yeah, right?
I need a long journey.